Another day, another loss for the Orlando Magic. This is getting repetitive, but they lost to the Houston Rockets 116 to 118. And unfortunately, the worst shooting NBA team from the free throw line made over or just a tick over 90% of their free throws to defeat the Orlando Magic. When there was a little bit of hope at times in this game, unfortunately, they just could not hang on. Guys, welcome into Magic Digest. It's your one-stop shop for Orlando Magic basketball content here on YouTube. I'm your host, Patrick Previty, as always. And I talked to you guys earlier today. We talked about Anthony Black and how much of a difference maker that he can be. We're going to get into everything about this Houston Rockets game. But first, guys, you know the drill. Make sure that you join the 25% if you're watching these videos regularly. We're trying to build an Orlando Magic basketball community here on YouTube. And subscribing is the easiest and best way to help us grow. We're trying to get to 1,000, hopefully, by sometime over the next month. Okay, let's take a look at the box score. First, we're going to take a look at the Houston Rockets because obviously we got to give them their props. You don't just lose to a basketball team, a Western Conference foe, and twice in about the span of a week or about 10 days if they aren't doing something right. And clearly they're surging right now. They shot well from the three-point line after a sluggish start. They had a similar start to the as the Orlando Magic did, but unfortunately they were just able to make a couple more when it counted the most, especially in that third quarter. Most of their team played pretty well. They got that scoring from 6 different players, overall scoring, which was really, really helpful for them. And Jalen Green was the main contributor with 26 points. Sengun added 22. Van Fleet had 19. And then you got a couple more from some of the other players. Steven Adams was less of a factor than he was statistically last game, but still that plus minus was crazy. So whenever he was on the floor, this Rockets team certainly was taking advantage of the Magic. Okay, let's take a look at the box score for the Orlando Magic. Corey Joseph drew the start tonight. I would have guessed Anthony Black would have been the starter, but he still got 22 minutes, which was very respectable. Only 4 minutes less than Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph had 13 points. That was a season high for him, actually, for this year. Anthony Black, unfortunately, did not rise to the occasion like I thought he was capable of, but we've seen him have these inconsistent ebbs and flows throughout the year. He had 7 points, 0 for 4 from 3. That was the big thing right there. Paolo Banchero, 31 points. He has been so good even through the losses. 31 points, like I mentioned. 33-point average over the last after the last 4 games. Franz, 20 points, 8 of 19 shooting. Wasn't the prettiest for him. And then, unfortunately, I think the biggest blemish, because we see KCP actually came out to the game and actually played. He had 10 points. Was Wendell Carter Jr. He had 4 points on the game, 19 minutes. Mosley went with Bataze and was rewarded. He had 19 points for the game, 8 of 10 shooting. Jonathan Isaac was the odd man out in the front court, and just maybe not enough scoring when we needed it from that front court. But still, we were very happy because we didn't get out rebounded by 20 plus rebounds, or didn't have our rebounds doubled by the Rockets. It was 46-41 in that differential, and that wasn't the reason that this team lost the game. Unfortunately, there was a run in the third quarter with Jalen Green and Van Vliet. They made a couple three-pointers each to open and close a 12-0 run late in the third. And the Rockets had a lead of 80-65. And as we all know, when this Magic team enters that fourth quarter, or they get deep into the game and they haven't made the 70-point mark, that's usually spelling disaster and that they aren't going to be able to come back. Again, the Rockets, like I said, after both teams started shooting sluggishly from 3, were able to catch on and make some threes when it counted. The Magic were not able to do that. They were not able to hold steady. And despite this game not having any sort of statistics between the teams that was glaring, the Rockets were able to pull away. 16 turnovers for the Rockets, 12 turnovers for the Magic, so they have to be happy with that. Points in the paint goes to the Magic. Fouls, the Magic committed 2 more than the Rockets, so nothing too insane, but of course that three-point percentage is going to stick out. 25% for the Magic, 9 of 35 from the floor, 11 for 35 from 3 for the Rockets. That would be 31%, which in any other game probably wouldn't really get them a win. But against the Orlando Magic, it was just enough because, unfortunately, they weren't able to match anything that happened with them. So this Magic team certainly has some issues right now. I think that's clear. They're 32-38. They're stuck at the 8th seed, and they ran into a Rockets team that it has been surging as of late. They've been great on this homestand, and I think it's good for the Magic to be able to go back home, even though our last homestand wasn't very good, and just be able to gather themselves. The Orlando Magic will now go end up playing the Washington Wizards on Friday. That hopefully should be an easy win. The Washington Wizards aren't exactly trying to win basketball games right now. They're 15-52. And then they'll play a Lakers squad who may potentially have LeBron back, but we'll have to wait and see on that diagnosis there. And then they go play the Hornets, Mavs, Kings, and Clippers. All of those games, in my opinion, are very winnable for this Magic team if they are able to shoot the ball well and they can find a player to facilitate this offense, because it's the same old issues, unfortunately, for this Magic team. We're taking another look at the box score really quick to just really dissect what exactly went wrong. Tristan da Silva, unfortunately, didn't get going in this game. We really could have used him. We really could have used Gary Harris almost. We just needed Cole Anthony. He did not play because of the toe injury. It looks like he wasn't ready to really come back, at least from that Cavs performance. So they sat him out tonight. I wasn't really expecting that, if I'm being completely honest, just because there was so much time from between Sunday and Wednesday. I thought he was going to be able to make it back, but obviously the coaching staff and the training staff thought against it. They figured that that wasn't going to be the best course of action, so we're just now going to have to deal with the Corey Joseph show. But he's been playing well, and I hear everybody saying, hey, look, Corey Joseph's been playing well. You know, if Anthony Black is out there, that's a plus. It's not end-all, be-all, but Corey Joseph's been playing well. I hear that, and I certainly see that. And in a game like this, it's Corey Joseph who's out there making better plays and just putting in better minutes than Anthony Black, but it still would always be really nice to see Anthony Black out there and playing well. As I mentioned, the Magic have been struggling as of late, as we all know. 9 losses in the last 13 games, 6 straight defeats at home, so them going back home might not be the best thing, but I still think it'll be a positive just to be able to get everything together. The Rockets will go play Miami on Friday. That could be pretty important as well, because we need to keep Miami off our tails for that 8th seed, because no way would we want to be in a situation where we are the 9th seed. I still think, while there's not a ton of movement going on within the play-in, or excuse me, the Heat are at the 10th seed right now. They're a half game back behind Chicago. We are at 25 games back from first. Chicago's 27, so we're 2 games ahead of Chicago, 2.5 games ahead of Miami. I think right now, despite there not being a ton of movement, we don't want to end in that 9-10 game in the playoffs, right? Or in the play-in, because I think that just puts this team in a really rough position, having to win 2 games because we just know our shooting isn't as reliable. Let's try to stick in that 8th seed. I hate that we're even talking about this, right? Because at a certain point we were talking about 5th to the 4th seed or the 6th seed and trying to stay outside of the play-in. Now we just want to make sure that we have ourselves in a good position in the play-in, and we don't have to play 2 games to win. We could just beat the Atlanta Hawks, hopefully on a one-off, and then go play the Celtics. Or if we lose, at the very least, the consolation prize is maybe a Cavs team that we might match up better against, right? But right now, this team is in danger of losing that 8th seed, I would say, fully. Just depending on what kind of schedules the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat have lined up. But hopefully the Rockets do us a favor, because they've certainly been beaten down on us over the last week or so, and get a win over the Miami Heat. Guys, same old story, same old everything for the most part. This Rockets team is a very good team, and they're a very hot team. And despite the Magic starting out slow in the first quarter, they were able to make this a ball game, especially by halftime. And then the third quarter came around late in the third quarter, and it was just too much to handle. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below about this Magic loss. Unfortunate that we have to keep on harping on some of these issues, but hey, that's the Orlando Magic in the 2024-2025 season. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, I will see you guys next time with more Orlando Magic basketball content.